Yo, what's up? It's Jacoby.
Hey, what's going on, Jacoby? Where are you at this morning?
I'm calling you from my home in Sacramento.
Man, I was out there once. They still have the Cal Expo.
Yep, dude, it's funny you bring that up. I literally live if I jump on the levee right here, like a half mile down the road, it's like a mile and a half from my house.
I saw Def Leppard there in 1988, and it was just a great venue.
That's awesome, dude. I wish I was at that show, man. Shoot, that would have blown my mind.
Now, how long does it take you to get that half mile?
If I'm sprinting, it'll take me about 2 minutes. 2.5 minutes.
Well, dude, we're talking to you today about the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, the Talk Away the Dark campaign. I know last year you guys made a $150,000 donation. I know this is something dear to your heart. We're playing Leave a Light On now on the Blitz, and people love it. And talk about the campaign a little bit.
Yeah, man. So we didn't know if we were going to release the song as a single, to be honest. And then all these cards started falling into place, and we got an opportunity from Shinedown, an offer to go tour with them. And I was like, oh, this is the perfect tour to go release this song. But, let's bring something into the fold that's different. Let's bring a charity element into this song because of the message of the song. We need to, really use this as a beacon of hope for people. We know people look to music for inspiration. And, through the years, we found people are inspired by our music and they gravitate towards the light in our music, So we partnered with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and we were each night we would donate an amount to the AFSP, and at the end it was the culmination of that. And, essentially what it is it's a service out there where people, if they're struggling in that dark moment, they just pick up your phone, hit 988, and there's somebody there. Literally, I just met a guy a week ago from Northern California that works for the AFSP, and he is literally saved now. He's volunteering for people's lives. He just picks up the phone and just listens and points them in. All right, we're going to get you some help. Where are you at? And it's just so important for people to know that there is help out there, because it's scary, man. And when you're in that darkness and you're struggling, your mind ain't thinking right, and so sometimes we just need somebody to just come, reach a hand in that dark and pull us out, So I encourage anybody that's in that space, man, if you need some help, dial 988. There's somebody there ready to, pick up the phone and listen.
I swear rock and roll has been the greatest therapy of my entire life.
I'm telling you, man.
I think music in general,
right?
But I think, Jacoby, I remember the first time I saw you was years ago when I worked in Michigan, was my first experience with Papa Roach. And even if you go back to, let's say, 2010 through the mid-teens, this was an issue, but nobody ever talked about it. And then when the pandemic hit, all of a sudden I think people realized mental health became a much more real problem than it ever really had been in the past, or at least it had been one that people were willing to talk about for once.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the pandemic really amplified some human issues straight up, and they were glaring right in our face. And suicide is one of those things, and it's just so sad, man. It just hurts my heart every time I hear a story about somebody taking their life. I'm just like, man, could we have not helped another person, And, speaking on music and being a beacon of hope to people, it's something that we never really set out to do back in the day. At all, honestly. I just want to make rock and roll, have a good time. And then as I traveled the world, the early 2000s, and met thousands upon thousands of people that were just telling us, man, this music is saved my life. This music is brings me strength, brings me hope. And I didn't realize that. And so, fast forward some years, and I'm a father, and I'm making adjustments in my life and changes in my life. And I start to really see the healing power that music can have. But I do know that people are looking to us for a message of hope, man. And I'm happy to bring it, if I got it in me, and I do.
I caught your interview last week, and you talked about the time you met Chester Bennington. Talk about your relationship with Chester.
Oh, what an amazing human. We clicked up early on in our careers, and I remember we were wilding out a little bit on Ozfest, having young rock stars having a good time.
Sure.
And then our wives came out on tour, and I remember it was we were having conversations. We were both trying to have babies. So we ended up getting our ladies pregnant while we were out on Ozfest. And, 9 months later, bam, I got a baby. 9 months later, bam, Chester got a baby. And just an amazing dude. He's had a massive impact on people through his music, and always was just a stand-up, amazing dude. And my heart goes out to his family and to his fans. But I guess that's why just another reason why I'm so passionate about this, because, I just want to encourage people, don't make a permanent decision to a temporary problem, man. Pain it's a moment, maybe sometimes it's a few moments or maybe it's many moments, but it's like sometimes it's darkest right before the dawn, man. You got to hang on. You got to hold on.
I remember you always hear about musicians who have passed away, and there are three that made me stop in my tracks for different reasons, but the two of those three were Chester and Chris Cornell. When both of them passed, that was the first time I was like, damn.
Stunned.
And it really, it hit home. But I noticed with Leave the Light On, which is such a fantastic song, but I've noticed your Instagram over the last couple of weeks, you've had other people singing along with you. I saw the stuff you did with Brent in the car. I saw the Ivan Moody was singing, and now you got Chris is such a good dude in general, but Daughtry experienced this firsthand a couple of years ago, and I know you've got the new version of Scars with him, and if anybody knows how real this problem has become, he is the example of it right now.
Absolutely, man. My heart goes out to him and his family, and that dude is a beam of light, man, and to see him emerge from that dark space again and see him thriving, it gives people hope. You know what I mean? And that's what we're looking for. And I don't wish what Chris has gone through on anybody at all. Not even my worst enemy, man. That's just the most heaviest loss ever. So yet again, another reason why we're out here trumpeting this, letting people know there is help out there for you. Pick up that phone, 988. You know what I mean? It's that easy. And it might feel like a 1,000-pound phone. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's like, at the end of the day, man, that we don't want this to be your last day. Even maybe somebody out there listening to this interview now, it's like, you're not alone. Please, I urge you, if you're struggling in that space, don't be afraid to just ask for some help,
It's obvious fame and fortune does not make you immune to depression. So what kind of advice would you give to young up-and-coming bands?
Oh, man, I mean, as far as it comes to music, man, there's such a freedom in the creative space, that gives us purpose. And that's really what I've found a lot of what my life really balances upon is if I'm living a purpose-driven life, if I have a reason to. And music has been that for me. And to anybody that's starting bands, don't think this thing is going to happen overnight. It's once in a blue moon that happens. And you got to do it for the love of the music, because there's going to be struggles and hard times and highs and lows. But it's when we press through those lows, I really feel that builds our character. And, you find out who you are as an artist. And speaking from experience, right, I've had highs and lows, and I've had to dust the dirt off and get back up many times over. But I kept doing it, until finally I found myself in a space of doing all right. I'm feeling good about this, So keep on keeping on, people.
There you go. I wonder if you have ever noticed before. I've always been a big song lyric guy, but I know sometimes it's harder to pay attention to lyrics, especially, and I'm going to bring up Last Resort, because if you go with what your original version of Last Resort was, it's such a fun, rock anthem. If I've ever seen you live, everybody is, into it. But the lyrics themselves, when you heard Ronnie Radke's version of Slowed It Down, and made essentially a ballad out of it, did it all of a sudden, do you feel like it made people actually pay attention to the lyrics more than they might have in the past?
Absolutely. We like to do that. I like to take music and juxtapose a really heavy subject matter over something that just feels good. And it's almost a way to cloak, the message. And then when people dive deeper into the music, there's layers to it, right? And what Ronnie did with Last Resort is he just cut down to the root layer of the emotion of that song. And he just nailed it, honestly. It blew me away. When I heard it for the first time, I was just like, oh, my God, Ronnie, wow, you just slayed this. I love this. It was such an honor, and he did such a great job, and it's reaching people again. You know what I mean? And that's what's powerful about music.
That's awesome. Speaking of the music, are we going to get some tour dates soon?
We're actually getting on a conference call here after this phone call here, and we're talking just about that, touring.
Nice.
We're right now, early in the year, we've been working on a bunch of new music, and so we're essentially pulling the slingshot back. 2025 is going to be a big year for Papa Roach. It's the 25th anniversary of our first album, In Fest. We got a book. We got tours. We got the whole nine, and so and we got a whole new, batch of music that we're going to drop. And so new music will be probably coming like later in the year, third or fourth quarter. It's good to get a little calm before the storm, and so I'm taking this year and just creating tons of music, writing for Papa Roach, writing with other artists, and really just being as creative as possible.
Well, when you're not touring and you're not making music, what do you like to do for fun?
I am a super fan of my two boys that are going to college, and they're college athletes. I got one son it's his senior year, and it's his last year of college lacrosse, so I'm going to go bring my cowbell out to Iowa and go ring that cowbell at his game and, watch my boy play some football later this year. And, really, man, it's either rock and roll, it's on the stage, or it's my family. I like to ski. I'm going to do some skiing this year.
Nice.
Yeah, I really enjoy that. That was something that after I put the bottle down some years ago, I had to find something else that just put me in the moment and just got me off. So skiing's another one of those things. I like to whitewater raft as well. I live up in NorCal, so there's a bunch of, just outdoor life is a big deal here.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you ever sit back and just take it in for a second and, enjoy the fact that you've been able to do this for 25 years and you still get an incredible reaction from people whenever you guys hit the road?
I'm starting to get to that point, honestly. I've been able to have some reflection upon my life and look back and go, man, we really actually did what we said we were going to do as kids. That crazy dreamer stuff that we say when we're 15 to our parents. They look at us crazy and they're like, yeah, good luck. I'm doing it. It really trips me out, man. And it's good to pause and reflect on that every once in a while, because I could really have my nose to the grindstone and just be in the grind of things a lot. And it's like I have to remind myself, pause for a moment and just not just for the ego to celebrate, but just to breathe for a minute and then take a look at life and assess. And, things are going pretty dang good. I can't lie right now.
Yeah, I had that dream. I told my parents once I was going to retire by 35. That clearly did not happen, and they've been telling me I told you so ever since.
Man, I'm telling you, if I retired at 35, I would have lost my noodle, dude. I need something to do.
Right.
Like this year, I'm like, am I going to go work at a coffee shop and be a barista? I don't know. I love people, right? I love being around people. So sometimes when I'm home, I don't see so many people, so I got to get out there with the people,
You couldn't do that, though, because if somebody saw Jacoby Shaddix as their barista at a Starbucks, they'd be like, man, that dude just lost it. Remember when he used to be something? He's the opposite of the level up now.
Hey, man, you got to keep them guessing.
Well, Jacoby, I got to say, brother, you are everything that is right in rock and roll and the rock community, and I can tell you, Columbus, Ohio loves you, and we cannot wait to see you again, man. Thank you for everything you do.
Absolutely, fellas. My pleasure, to be of service to my people out there. That's what's up. That's a good life right there. So that's what I'm trying to live, fellas. Appreciate you guys having me and appreciate you letting me spread the message.
If there's anything that 99.7 The Blitz can ever do to help, man, you just say the word. We'll be there for you.
All right, brothers. Appreciate y'all.